Hiya, so today I got the pleasure of talking to one of our clients. And you are?
My name's Vicki. I'm Vicki Beere and I'm the Chief Exec of Project 6.
Lovely. And what was it that Project 6 do?
We're a charity. We work with people affected by substance use. So we work with people, families and communities across West and South Yorkshire.
Oh, brilliant. So I guess with your long tenure with Project 6, you've seen a lot of changes with the organisation. What was it like when you started?
Oh, so when I started at Project 6, we were quite a small organisation. I think there was probably about 20 of us, and we were based in Keighley. So we had a number of contracts working for the what was then the primary care trusts, and we were delivering harm reduction work. So that's supporting people that aren't really ready to get into treatment and making sure that people that do use substances can use them safely. Then we had a number of teams working with people who use drugs and alcohol, or I should say, we had a number of people working in teams who use alcohol and other drugs, offering them structured treatments, offering them sessions every week, and then we had some group work provision as well. So we were quite small, quite compact.
A lot of interaction with the community.
Yeah, very, very community rooted. Project 6 has been working in Keighley for 35 years, but we merged subsequently with charities in Sheffield and Doncaster, and they've both been going for about 40 years. So actually, collectively speaking, I think that's about 110 years of 115 years actually of delivery in communities across those three areas. Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people that have made amazing changes to their lives and gone on to do fabulous things.
Brilliant. So obviously a lot of changes to the organisation during that time, a lot of merging and everything. How has technology affected you over the last few years?
Technology has been really important to us, actually. So in 2017, I think October 2017, we merged with Sheffield Alcohol Support Services. So that was Project 6 in Keighley, and Sheffield Alcohol Support Services merged into us. Now, Sheffield to Keighley is about an hour and 45 minutes drive, an hour and 45 minutes on the train. So actually technology became really important to us in terms of our communication.
Yeah.
So we were early adopters of digital meetings. We used Zoom as a platform 2 or 3 years before the pandemic started, actually. So when the pandemic started, technology was phenomenally important to charities like us, because we weren't able to go and do a lot of our work face-to-face. So before, we'd done about 100% of our delivery on a face-to-face basis. When the pandemic hit us, we moved to about 80% online, 20% face-to-face, because there's some services that we just had to keep open. So the services when we worked with people who were street homeless, street drinking, our needle exchange provision, we worked with some really, really vulnerable women in Sheffield. We needed to see them on a face-to-face basis, so we had to work out how to do that safely. Everybody else we needed to go online for as well. So because we'd started to work, because we'd worked with ESP at this point, and we'd use Zoom as a platform to communicate across the sites, we were able to really quickly move on to that for the whole organisation. And we'd also started to use Microsoft Outlook and Teams as well. So we were able to communicate in a number of different ways across the organisation, which meant our staff were in a good position to show and support the people that they worked with how to use these tools as well. So we were really able to mobilise pretty quickly. Within 2 or 3 weeks, we were able to give lots more people access to services that were absolutely critical for them at a really stressful time for the whole of the world.
Yeah, well, like you're saying there, obviously having the experience already with using Zoom because of your dispersed nature anyway. I know a lot of organisations when the pandemic first hit, a lot of people still, trying to get laptops, webcams, headsets, and everything. And then it was, I don't know how to use it, and a lot of training going off and supporting of their own staff. Whereas if you'd been in the same situation, obviously, I assume that there'd be a long period of time that you wouldn't be able to provide your services because you're just supporting your own staff.
Yeah.
But you're in the position where you're able to support the users of your service to get connected and use these the technologies to be able to get support from the guys.
So the staff were out working with people on their doorsteps. Literally, with the people were just so generous at that point and gave us tablets. So lots of tech companies gave us equipment. So we were able to go out and like work with people on their doorsteps whilst trying to be 2 meters away and showing people how to access a meeting on their tablet so that they could actually engage in some of the groups that we're offering online.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, it's lovely when the community calls together, isn't it?
Yeah, it was an awful time and it was really stressful, but there were some good bits as well.
Oh, it's good to always find the silver lining in the cloud, as it were.
Yeah.
So obviously you've covered quite a bit of how you've used it in the past. Is there anything else to expand on, or how you intend to use it in the future? Or
so it's always really important to us to invest in systems and infrastructure. The work that our staff go out and do on a daily basis, whether they're working in our needle exchange or working with street drinkers, working with people who've had repeat admissions to hospitals, working in some of our brief intervention clinics, they're out and about. So it's really important to us that we don't put extra barriers in the way of people being able to do their job. And IT and tech is a really important part of that, because I don't know if you're like me, I can cope with anything. I can deal with absolutely anything. Bad news, just tricky phone calls, tricky staff issues, funding crises. But if my laptop won't start or installs an update at the wrong time, it's that'll tip me over the edge. So it's really important for us that we help smooth our staff's job, do the day job. And the reason why I know that we've got the ESP really works for us is because I don't hear about it. And I hear about everything that goes wrong in glorious technical detail. People do not come to me and go, we've got a problem and ESP can't help us, or I've been waiting to get that sorted out for weeks and weeks, because I think we find you guys really responsive, and that we're prepared to invest in making sure that people do have good tech. So some of the larger national charities have come to me, and when we've been negotiating in tenders, they've said, we'll provide all the IT because we know what you smaller charities are like. You don't like to invest in tech and in IT and infrastructure. And then we've gone to meetings and they've looked at like my iPad and my laptop and they've gone, oh, actually your stuff's better than ours. And the assumption is because you're a smaller charity that you don't believe in this. But I think it's really important that it's a really important enabler for people to be able to get on with their day job, which is stressful enough.
Yeah, using it to leverage the staff hours you've got to get better results and not be a hindrance. That's one of the things I've often said to people, is that IT and computers and so forth are there to enable you to do your job. It's not your job to fix them or necessarily know how to work them or anything. That's what we're here for, to support you to so they become more seamless, so you just get the leverage of being able to perform better in your role. And obviously your role is very important to the communities that you serve and work with. And
it is, and we're lucky enough to have John Gooch, who is fabulously talented and the most patient man on the face of the planet.
Yeah, we talk a lot to John.
And he's got a really good relationship with you guys, and if we're thinking we might want to do that, then we can pick up the phone and have a conversation. So we now deliver probably only about 10% of our work online, but we still use Teams, we still use Zoom. We still deliver some stuff digitally because it helps people access our services. One of the plans for the future is we've grown a lot in the last 3 or so years. So we've got projects in Sheffield, Doncaster, Keighley, Bradford, a lot of staff out and about doing outreach in and out of hospitals and GP practices. So tech is a really important way of keeping people connected. And we're always thinking about how we can communicate better. So we're looking at developing our infrastructure further. And we've also, as we've grown piecemeal, we've got piecemeal databases as well. So we're looking at how can we bring that together and align it so our HR database aligns with our safeguarding database, which aligns with our CRM, which is what we use to record details of people that use our services. So we've got, and then our finance systems and our banking systems. So for a small organisation, we've got a lot of systems, and we don't find Teams a brilliant way of communicating together. So what we're looking at is working with yourselves and building something that is the Project 6 kind of infrastructure, which will help bring that together and really help us with our communications as well.
Yeah, I think Jordan's been liaising with you quite heavily on that, and how to pull the information together to really, again, smooth things out so that information's more easily available for you, whether it's on the business end of the organisation or the outreach end of the organisation. It's very important that systems are quick and simple to use for people so they can find the info they need.
And again, it's about making people's jobs easier, isn't it? And then that needs to link with all our social media presence, and then that can help us look at our training and look at ways of generating income. So that'll be there's a lot of challenges when we look at some of our central services. And every time we look at the challenge, the solution is actually we need to invest in this infrastructure, in this IT transformation work, because actually that will help us smooth out 80% of those challenges.
For me, it's very refreshing because I know a lot of organisations, they always think that IT is, like just for writing emails. They don't think beyond, for what leverage you could get out of it and how it could improve things, and it's always very much a second thought. And working with an organisation such as yourselves, where you're so forward thinking about, we can make improvements here or there, or whatever, it's very refreshing for myself, and I know the engineers enjoy working with you guys as well, and obviously Jordan. It's
just about maximising people's time to do the really good work that they do with people. If we've got people working in the hospital and stuff, we want them to spend the maximum amount of time on the wards supporting people, not back in their office trying to go through 27 different steps to do one task as well. So it makes good business sense as well as moral sense.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time today, and I hope you do very well with your PhD over in Manchester.
Manchester, yes.
I hope that goes very well for you, but thank you very much.
Thanks.